What's up, my PT peeps? One Eye Bri back to talk about The Walking Dead and do a discussion video about walkers and will they ever be the main problem again. Spoiler warning if you're not up to date on the show and you're not up to date on the comic, because we'll talk about the show, the comic, and what may lead on the show, but we'll put a spoiler warning before we say it. But here we go. So The Walking Dead has a general formula of problems: walkers, survival, problems, and then a villain, or in some form of that. But gone are the days when walkers are the main problem as of season 7. It all started with Rick Grimes shooting Teddy Bear Girl, and you're like, oh man, this show is going to be great. And the show has evolved, as any show would. But walkers, The Walking Dead. Now, who is The Walking Dead? Are they the walkers? Are the people? Now, per Rick Grimes in the comic, Rick says we are the Walking Dead, so the people are the Walking Dead, and the walkers are just a problem that they have. And as of season 1, I watched the older seasons, and they're still great to watch, but the main problem is so different to where they're at now, and the show has evolved, which it should, but walkers still need to be somewhat of a problem, you know? I mean, Negan and the governor and villains come around, and people will always want to take over the world, no matter what shape it's in. And the walkers were a little crazy early on, and they did things, and they picked up rocks and whatever, but, you know, they got their formula down, and the walkers are a part of the show, and hopefully they come back around. Very minimal parts of walkers, survival. They're in Alexandria now, and they're in good shape, Rick and the Kingdom and the Hilltop, so they're pretty safe with that aspect. And I liked the earlier seasons of it where, you know, survival was the thing, and it's still there, but it's just a different kind of a thing. Like I said, and the show has evolved. The prison was kind of the big turning point. When they got to the prison, they were safe from walkers, and then they had to come up with a new problem. You can't have the Walking Dead show be all great and they're just hanging around singing. The governor comes around, and the Walking Dead loves to make their villains invincible, and he's surrounded by walkers and he shoots them calmly, and it's just too much. But the walkers came back around again, especially in seasons 3 and 4. They had to deal with them around the prison, and then definitely in season 4 when they were around, and that was the big problem. The Walking Dead always has to have a problem, you know, but ultimately you think the walkers are going to decompose, right? I mean, the stats are that it's 5,000 to 1. 5,000 walkers to every one person. Then new people are dying and new people are dying. So I would think that it's going to take a long time to get rid of the walkers from the planet, right? And especially where you're at. But if you're in a location for a while, like Alexandria, the Hilltop, the Kingdom, you're going to clear out a lot of the walkers. So that makes sense. But ultimately, more walkers are going to come in, new walkers are going to happen, and just walkers should be a problem, right? But ultimately, is the show kind of steering away towards that? And I think so. I mean, ultimately the show has to evolve, and I agree with that, and the walkers are going to decompose. I mean, ultimately the walkers will be down to nothing if they're not eating, right? Even though it takes them a slow time to do that. But is the show all about people versus people now, not so much the walkers? And I like a better mix of that myself. Post your comments below, guys, what you think of that. But Negan came around, and now it's the Negan show. And they did the same thing with the governor, but the walkers aren't really the problem. They cleared them out, and they moved them out, which is good. But, you know, that should come back around a little bit, you know, and they've shown them here and there in smaller clips. And I think they will come back around with probably in end of season 8 into season 9, because that's the formula of it, right? I mean, the walkers weren't the problem, and then they're the problem again, and then the villain comes around, and then about season 9 would be when the walkers come back around, just based on the formula that we're talking about. You know, walkers, survival, villain, walkers, survival, villain, walkers, survival, villain. That's kind of the formula. Spoiler warning, here we go. Stop watching now if you don't want to know. Here we go. So the Whisperers, they're all about walkers, and that's going to be the reintroduction of walkers being a problem again, even though it'll be a mix of walkers and people. And that's where I think we'll get into end of season 8, season 9. It's going to be Alpha and her Whisperers versus Rick and the Kingdom and the group and the Hilltop and everything, and it should be great. And I would think that'll definitely be season 9, but it could be the end of season 8 where we're introduced to them. And I think it'll be great for television, season 8, end of season 8, season 9, when the Whisperers come around and they have a new problem. There'll ultimately be a time jump that'll probably be between the end of All Out War, then the Whisperers. But if they stick to the comics, which I think they should, the Whisperers are an awesome group for TV if they do it right. And they basically connect with walkers by wearing dead walker skins on top of their skin, that it's clean is what they say, and that it can blend in with a herd of walkers and kill people and be camouflaged by the walkers, which would be crazy, right? So they'll be able to blend in and use the walkers for camouflage. So I think gone are the days when the walkers are the main problem and the only problem, and it should be, right? I mean, The Walking Dead's timeline is pretty confusing. I don't know how long it's been, a year, 2 years, 3 years, but it hasn't been that long. I mean, it hasn't been 10 years in this time frame. But the walkers should come back around, and I definitely want to know your thoughts on that. So post your comments below, guys. What do you think of the walkers being a problem again? Yes or no? And check out my book on Amazon, Fight for Us. Link to the book is in the description. If you do pick it up, let me know what you think of it. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. And check out our Walking Dead community page on Facebook. All are welcome. If you like this channel, you like the group, post your comments there. We post videos and pictures and stuff there all the time. We like the input. We like the community feel to it. If you do like this channel, guys, hit that subscribe button today. It'll really help us out. Join our team, Team PT all the way. We can't do it without you. You guys are awesome. Like I said, post your comments below. What do you think of this theory discussion about the walkers being a problem again? Will it happen? Definitely want to hear your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching, guys.